How do you tell if a small business needs more tools or fewer? My answer is it just needs more trust.
Yeah, it's the relationship. Yeah, it's really the relationship.
Welcome to Fire Talks by Tech Wing Bites. I'm Clint. I've built software, led teams, and now a founder, helping builders who are ready to make the leap, but can't quite see the path yet. Every episode is one conversation closer to clarity on ownership, execution, and momentum.
All right, welcome to Fire Talks. I believe it's episode 14. We're talking about small businesses and AI. Considering OpenAI and Anthropic both just started to get into the consulting space regarding forward deploying engineers and whatnot. So we're going to dive into that. But first, let's introduce our guest, Tony.
Yes. So Tony Brooms, I'm the CEO, owner, founder of Billy, which are a payments and billing platform for small businesses to help them, understand and do their finances a little bit quicker and easier.
And I'm Egan Jones in superfluidic.ai. And I do lots of consulting on big data projects and little data projects.
Thank you both. I was recently talking to one of my clients, and it was like, Clint, what are you? Are you an AI consultant? I've been seeing that all over the place. I think we all kind of fall in that top bucket of AI consultants, and we are either being recruited or pushed out by OpenAI and Anthropic. I believe OpenAI, I'm doing this off the top of my head. I can't even say the name. It's a Tomorrow? What is, it's not Tomorrow. What's the name of the company they just acquired?
I'm pretty sure it's Tomorrow, but that might be a wrong pronunciation.
Yeah. So they just
I'm going off of spelling.
Exactly. They acquired them, and it's all over the globe, and they just hiring engineers or AI consultants to be forward deploy engineers, the new 2026 term FDE, which will embed in engineers in small businesses to not just help them with their build, but also consult with them. And Anthropic release features in Claude. I believe it's Claude Desktop, specifically around tools for small businesses, including finances, which is challenging the app that I'm building. What have you guys been seeing?
Well, one of the things I've seen, not necessarily specifically to the small businesses one, but they also released a new / command called a goal, which is a goal. So essentially the idea there is that you tell it what your end goal is, and if you've created everything well enough, it will go from start to finish with almost literally no interruptions. So you can literally step away, come back. I have not yet played with it yet, but I do have a plan because I've set up some things on my end where I'm almost to that point where I can give it essentially a set of rules that I need it to do, or a function that I need it to build, and be able to step away, and the feature can be almost feature complete when I come back. But obviously with some some back and forth. But the idea behind goal is pretty much the same thing, but without the interruptions.
Interruptions as in approvals?
No, interruptions as in it's more of it'll ask you, how it always asks you questions for clarifying. Oh, say it again?
Like a gate check?
Yeah, pretty like a gate check. So it comes back, it'll ask you a question, or do you want to continue? Or certain commands, it'll always ask you, do you want to do this? Like, especially with stuff like bash commands, which I appreciate that it does ask me that. To be honest.
Yeah. I want that. So goal.
Is this in Claude? This is in Claude, yeah.
This is in Claude. Yes. So which means they'll be coming to the other ones pretty soon.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Codex have something similar, slash plan. I don't know if it's
That's
exactly the
the
same.
same. Like, because the goal and the plan are two different things that you want to have. Like, I was just going to say that I've got whole roadmaps, broken down into sprints. In each one, I've got a sprint set of guardrails and process to follow for each sprint. And so this would allow me to say, finish all these sprints with this goal in mind. The sprints are very kind of much more feature oriented, rather than kind of build me a whole product. And so I've got all these roadmaps lined up, but what I need to insert in there are probably some additional research sprints at the beginning of each of those sprints to further nail down the specifics. A lot of times it'll give you, do you want to take this path or that path? So usually it has a recommended path, and 90% of the time you can take that recommended path, but sometimes, you don't. I wanted to ask you, Tony and Clint, if you guys have had as much trouble as I've had with delegating, like you were just saying, Tony, like I just get these bash, where if it had gone and used a specialized agent, it wouldn't have had to go through all those bash explorations and hit and miss crap. And when it uses an agent, it usually knocks it out real quick, real efficiently. But when it won't delegate, it tries to do it itself. The class, let me do this. Let me just do that. And so I wanted to know if you run into that problem, if you run into also just straight up lying and fabrication of
Definitely that.
and how you combat that. I just spent 2 days setting up tearing down, doing spring cleaning on my whole system, setting up, tearing out all the old hooks and setting up a whole new set of hooks, trying to combat a lot of this.
I'm gonna respond first. Let me just touch on this, because this is classic builders problem. I know Tony got a really good answer for this, right?
Maybe
the goal things, the slash goal definitely feels like an autonomous agent to me, right? So I'll dive into that. But when I said plan in Codex, in Codex, it does this thing where it plans the document for you. Like it goes through pretty much like a PRD, and it says, "Hey, go approve it," whatever, and then you go. So maybe I was mixing things up. When I say execute on this plan, there's a little window at the bottom of Codex with bullet points, and it's showing you what it's. I believe
it's a to-do list.
To do this. Claude has too, and so when I was saying plan, I was actually thinking of that, because that feels autonomous. Like it's like, here's these 10 things, and you can look down at these checklists and see it's kind of checking it off. So it gives me this idea of, okay, well, that to-do list is like autonomous, whereas when you do a slash, it's also autonomous, right? So that was my feedback there. But when it comes to builders problem and blockers, yes, the AI still lies. LLM, which one when I use, I still run into issues where I'm telling it to use these slash commands. It's saying it's doing it. Sometimes I have to be strict in front of it. I'm going to be strict with you, or I even send it twice, and it says it's doing it, and then it comes back to sometimes it says, "Sorry, my bad." One time it deleted some of my files. I'm like, "Yo, what's going on?" It's like, "Yeah, my bad. Sorry, it can't be recovered." So I run into that as well. But I think the real focus is going back on tools. Recently, I was going to build an app, and I decided I'm not going to do that. I'm going to build these tools, pretty much Python scripts. right? Because I know if it builds me the script, it's going to follow the script, and it will just build on it, which I didn't tell it to build on it. So I think that's been the benefit of giving it tools, right? So if I say, hey, use slash commands and then use this Python script to edit these clips, by the way, that's what I'm using to create the clips, right? And it is, so it's a series of tools, but Python scripts and also MD files. And I just talk to it, say, use the folder. And a lot of times it will find its own errors, especially when I'm running these blockers, and it will update the MMD files or update the scripts. Of course, I'm using Git, so I know it's being changed, and I'm like, hey, why did you change that? And it gives me a good explanation. I found that to be a good solution to the I don't know what to do. Let me go build something because I think. That's what I've been running to.
So for me, one of the things that I think I've been doing is I have, like I said, I'm pretty much almost all in with Claude, right? So a lot of things revolve around skills. So what I've been doing, and there's you go through, I have, whenever I find some findings that are untrue, straight out or straight out lie, basically, I will go back and hey, this isn't what you're supposed to do, right? This is, this doesn't make sense. I will literally kind of go back and tell it what the truth is, right? Or what my expectation of that should be, and put it into the memory file, the MD Markdown file you were talking about, right? So I have, at this point, I probably have a good 60, 70 Markdown files at this point.
I don't even actually count.
Well, but just because they handle a lot of different things. So, so my main Markdown file, the memory one, that's basically what Claude has, is every time it runs, it should at least go through that. And I have gone through that same thing you were talking about, where it tells me that it's done this thing and it did not, because I can tell, because I go, when I read the output, I'm like, okay, obviously you didn't do what I told you to do. Obviously, it's obvious.
And it's going, I'm sorry, you're right. You included that statement 8 times in your Claude MD file, and I ignored all 8 times.
Yes.
You fucking wicked.
Yeah, it's like, what do you mean? Why are you ignoring it? So when it's ignoring things, usually what I do is I go to the specific thing I want it to actually do, and with that section of the Markdown file, basically, and then have this this. I'll literally copy and paste it into the sections. Like, this is what I need you to pay attention to when you do it, and then usually it'll do. But I also find that it starts doing that type of lying after a few, maybe like a half a day of work, but back and forth. It's starting where the context starts to fill up, and I have to clear it out. And what? Yeah.
Is that in the same long day chat?
Yes. It's usually when it's in the same context window. I forget what they call their chat. I mean, it's basically a chat. Basically the chat, but yeah. So when it's in the same one, there's that law of diminishing returns that ends up happening.
Yeah.
That's when you have to either compact or just open a new window.
I hate the compacting, but they said the solution is to start a new chat. But I mean, I'm you, man. I start a new chat. I'm in it.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. This is where I'm coming to, is just starting a new chat. I've included in the chat window here a slash command that I use, /VV, a veracity verification check, and it just goes through and it kind of categorizes all of the claims that it's made as verified or assumed or incomplete, uncertain. And then hold on, where is
Egan? Did you create this, or is this on the web somewhere?
No, I made this. Yeah.
Jeez, thanks for sharing, bro.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
then hold on a second. I got another one. So I'll run this at least once, sometimes twice, and then I've got oh dang it. Come on. Where is it?
Action taken. This is good.
yeah.
Veracity verification check. Why you find that, Egan? I was arguing with my Claude today,
Oh yeah, last night. Yep.
and
Me.
we were talking about how LLMs work, right? And me and my Claude buddy, and
Yeah.
it was really pushing back on the idea of LLMs is a prediction machine, right? And a lot of times it gets the hallucination confidently because it's just saying, hey, this is what the next thing should be,